Hello everyone, this is Dave, aka DREBG. Today is Monday, May 3rd, 2010, and this is the first video of the first trade of my DREBG fund over at informedtrades.com. If you're not a member, please feel free to go over, take a look, poke around a little bit, join up. It's a great site with a lot of great traders. You can learn an awful lot. My blog is over there. Feel free to drop me an email at drebg@yahoo.com, and I'll see if I can answer any questions you might have. What you're looking at is the pound-franc pair last night, Sunday, at 11:45 p.m. This is a screen capture. This is how I'm going to do these videos, I think, is do a series of screen captures as the trade moves forward and then do a video afterwards. This is what I was looking at when the trade setup presented itself. As you can see at the top, we have a fairly large supply area and then a demand area down here in the pink. What I noticed was that price action had screamed away from this supply area. And usually when that happens, we have some sort of base and then a rally back up to the supply. So what I wanted to do is play the run-up back to supply. I noticed that it had not reached a lower low here, so I felt that it had some good upward momentum. This is the hourly chart. And as you can see, this is the high of this pin candle right here. That's what this line means. And then this line here is kind of the top of this basing that we're seeing here. And I felt as though if we can get over that, we get a good chance of getting up to this support and resistance level, which is the yellow line that you're seeing here. Some other lines that you see on the screen, this red line is a support and resistance area that we marked on the daily. This is the 200 EMA, this dashed tan line. The blue line is the 21 EMA, and the yellow line is the 8 EMA. My intention here was to set a limit order to go long after a retrace down to this support and resistance area, not quite all the way back down to demand. This is a fib study that I ran on this run-up right here on the hourly chart, and these, of course, are the fib extensions where we're heading. My goal would be to enter here somewhere around the 61.8, just above the support and resistance area and demand at the red line, and to go north up to the extensions just below the other support and resistance area that I had notated on the daily charts. If I take this down to a 15-minute chart, you can see a little more detail. You'll see that this is that area that we talked about where the basing was starting to happen, and if we got over, I felt pretty good that we could continue. And then, of course, this line is nothing more than the high of this pin right here, this swing. And then if I take it down one more level, this is the 5-minute chart. You can see the run-up, and we have some turning here on the MACD. I would want to wait for that to turn up again as a confirmation. And again, we're looking for that retrace back down to right around here, which is 164.75. And the risk to reward is around 1.5, because we want to put that stop loss somewhere below this swing low here and make sure we have enough room to the upside. If we continue going through in time, this is again back on the hourly chart, you'll see that we've now had this downturn that I expected once we reach this topping of this swing pin right here. And hopefully the turn back down to what I have now entered into as my limit order. You'll see it here on the green line. And my target is up here 100 pips away, just below that support resistance area, right around the fib targets. And then you can't see it on this chart because I don't have it up enough. My stop loss is below this swing low here. And one thing I didn't mention was this is a trend line that I drew from way back, and I think that's another area of confluence of support and confirmation that that's a good area where price action can turn around. This is about 45 minutes later, by the way, at 12:30 a.m. this morning. And if we move forward in time a little more, what I did is I went to bed and I got up and found this at about 9:30 this morning, New York time. This is how the trade had continued. Again, an hourly chart. You'll see that indeed, it reversed down, right down to my limit order, which is great. Went past it by about 7 pips, right down to this resistance area, almost into demand, a little past the 61.8. This trend line was also a great indicator of where things may turn around. And as you can see, it hit here, triggered my limit order. You can see here it's a buy, and started going north. These are my fibs and fib extensions. When I remove those and put the pivots in, you'll see we create a slightly different structure, and you can see the target was set just under R1. Now that we've breached here, you can see that we did so as we moved right through the daily pivot. So let me put that back in. This is looking great, and everything seems to be going really well. And if we can breach this area, I felt we had a good chance of getting up to this support and resistance line. Over here on the far left, this is the news feed that I get from Forex Factory. We have some news coming up in 30 minutes that could have some impact, and I'm a little leery about that. And in fact, 20 minutes later or so, I ended up exiting the position for plus 60. This is 10:08. You'll see the line on the chart here where the news had come out. We did have a little reversal. That's where I ended up getting out. I was concerned about what the news might do, so I wanted to get out before the news happened. What ended up happening, of course, like it always does, I ended up moving my stop loss up plus 5, and when it started turning around, I decided not to get greedy and just take the profits and run. This is at 11:10. You'll see that we finally actually hit the target. Unfortunately, I had gotten out down here when this started to reverse a little bit. So it did reach where we wanted it to go. This is a 30-minute chart. And then if I take it over to the hourly chart, same type of thing. You can see that we've definitely reached this support and resistance area where I assumed it was going to go, but just didn't really do what I should have done, which is move my stop loss way up and just trailed it to my target. And if we move it finally to the very end, you can see the entire trade on a 5-minute chart squished down. You'll see this is where the entry was, this is the limit order. This is where we found the trade up here. This is where it finally triggered overnight. This is where it went up to. And when it started to reverse here is when I got a little nervous. I should have moved the stop just below this swing here. And it wouldn't have triggered and would have gone on to reach my target. But I'm not too concerned about it. You'll see that it breached that, came back, retested, and then went through. I probably, on a normal basis, would have done exactly that. But being the first trade in the fund, I didn't want to get too greedy, and I wanted to get some profits on the books. So from there, you'll see that the trade as of now, which is 12:12 on Monday in the afternoon, this is actual MetaTrader Live. You'll see that the trade had retreated literally 2 pips beyond where my target was, and I assume that maybe it's going to come back down, retest maybe right around here where the pivot is, and go back up to the supply area. So that's it for this trade. I'm pretty happy with it. Here's the summary over at Forex Yard of the actual trade. You can see the balance is here, just shy of $62 or 62 pips. And, I'm happy with it. Everything went through exactly as I anticipated. I wish I had held it a little longer, but again, it's about protecting profits and putting some profits up on the books, especially when it comes to the first one. So thanks for everybody for listening, and we'll see you on the next one.